What's going on, everybody? Charmander here with my review on Hyper Light Drifter. It's a video game that's on Steam currently. The game is a 2D action RPG. It kind of mirrors the old games like Legend of Zelda. You basically play as this knight character known as the Drifter, going around from different forests and mountains and even dungeons underground, fighting monsters, killing bosses, in order to find 4 gems to raise a platform in the central city that you go to after each boss, in order to save the world. So with that, let's get right into the review. The first thing that I'll be covering is the story of the game. The story is very mysterious. You really don't know exactly what you're doing, other than you want to get this mechanism up in the air so you can stop all these monsters and stop the darkness that follows you. After every boss fight, you have a small little vision of the world getting destroyed. It's the same playback over and over again. A blinding white light and the village under you disappears while you see this mysterious dog-like creature who follows you throughout the game. Now, at first, it almost seems like this dog's going to be an enemy at the end, but as you find out later on, it's just kind of a guide to push you into the right direction after boss fights. Speaking of direction, the lack of direction in this game is a bit of a hindrance for it, because often people will just go in any one of the 4 directions because the entire map is accessible from the beginning, find out that halfway through a dungeon they can't get to the boss because they need to destroy the boss to the west and the boss to the south first. So a little bit of direction would help it in that aspect, but otherwise the story is very mysterious and very out there to let you know, hey, this is a post-apocalyptic kind of world and you're the knight to be saving it. Now, the overall gameplay is fairly simple. Clear areas, take out dungeons, and make sure to kill all the mobs around you so you can replenish your ammo and get health back whenever you can. Now, every now and then you're going to have to work against little simple puzzles, blocks coming down to squish you, finding gems in order to access harder dungeons and boss areas. The combat's kind of consistent of a Devil May Cry hack and slash system, where you throw a combo, you dodge, and then you use your gun to finish off enemies or take out the enemies who stay out of range of you. The simplicity of the combat system and the gameplay overall makes it very easy to get the hang of, but do not take that as a sign that this game is easy by any means necessary. Waves of mobs face you head on, while a heavy chases you around, along with the terrain falling off the edge, even having traps set under you. You're going to have a really crazy time keeping a track of everything going on at once, and you're going to have a lot of enemies who do a lot of different things attack you at various different moments. The use of the pixelated style results in an overwhelming feeling of nostalgia, the main inspiration seemingly coming from the Legend of Zelda series. While most people might be apprehensive nowadays towards pixel graphics, the animations are smooth, very well done, flow great as a combo, like other games would, Devil May Cry, Dark Souls, anything like that. But the subtle glows, flashes, and glitch-like effects that pop to the screen whenever you're facing enemies or you get damaged really bring it out and fledge it out as a game meant for the modern age, rather than a game meant for years ago when video gaming first came out. Hyper Light Drifter is one of the best games that I have played. The simplicity of the overall gameplay, the beautiful scores of music, the artwork, and the nostalgic effects of its design work perfectly as a unit. It's a very quick game, about 5 to 6 hours to beat it, which leaves you open to do New Game Plus if you want to beat that as well. While the difficulty and the lack of hand-holding direction may scare some players off, once you find your rhythm, you will be sure to master this game without much added harshness. Now, there are a few shortcomings with the fighting aspects, as in the button inputs are kinda off, you have to be pretty much perfect, and even then sometimes your character will dash once and just be stuck there and not do anything, and then you'll get beat up. Also, when you hit the ground after a large attack, enemies can still hit you, but you can't knock enemies over, so they will kill you while you're on the ground, restarting a boss fight or restarting an annoying mob area. Now, there are some lack of modern character customization aspects too. You really can't completely outfit your character like you would in normal games nowadays, but that's not that big of an issue. It's just something some people would rather have. Some people want to make their character male, female, tall, big, skinny, all that, but it really doesn't take too much out of this game. You have to realize this game is meant to be kind of a kickback to the old school style of gaming. But what really fledges this game out as one of the best games I've ever played is the story. Even with the ending, which I will not spoil, it leaves you fulfilled, but very melancholic. You want more, and personally, I really hope to see a sequel to this game, and I'm going to be following the developers on social media and all their different accounts that I possibly can. Personally, guys, I think you should give this a check. You should definitely see if there's any walkthroughs, or maybe even a quick kind of rundown, or even little trailers of the game to get an aspect of what exactly you're getting into, and if you actually want to play it or not. So with everything that I just mentioned now, I'm going to give this game a 4.5 out of 5. It's done fantastically. The gameplay is pretty solid. The button prompts, or the button inputs, are kind of wonky and don't work usually. If you get knocked down, you could still get killed, so that's annoying. It's pretty linear, and the lack of direction kind of halts you. You'll go through an entire area and get halfway through it before you realize I can't access anything else until I go through and beat the other bosses. So that kind of pushes it back 0.5 points, but otherwise, this game is fantastic. I think everybody should give this a try. This is my video for this week, guys. Give me a like, give me a comment, let me know if you want to see more things like this. Next week, I will have my Rainbow Six Siege video up. So without anything else, you guys have a great rest of your week.